And
Running on
we
fumes.
are live, running on fumes, sleeping beauty here. It just took 6 calls to get him out of a deep sleep,
Oh,
but we're here. He's pounding coffee. And the beautiful thing about Willie, it might take 17 phone calls to get him out of a deep sleep, but when he wakes up, it's instant fodder. It's instant instant fodder, instant analysis. I just heard myself in my ear. So that sucked. Sorry about that. All right, so we're live to recap the semis, the blood round, to preview the medal round, to preview the finals, to just kind of hang out because, you know, in the chaos that was the semis last night, there are so many good storylines. Some highs, some lows, some terrible officiating. We'll get to it all. There was also an entire blood round, and we're going to kind of go through that with you guys this morning because we missed some of it. We missed some of it. We missed some of the storylines. It's almost impossible to watch all 6 of those matches. But we're going to preview the finals, preview the medal round, give you some fodder, some more NCAA fodders. The final day, William, of the college wrestling season. Oof. I cannot believe how fast it went by.
the final day.
And
Which
just
will
think,
be sad when it's over, but
just
then
think,
we can. I don't know.
in 11 days, the portal opens up and everybody's going to go crazy again. So, does it really end? So, all right. So, I guess.
I can't wait to get into recruiting stuff, recruiting class rankings and big boards and stuff. I'm really looking forward to doing that, but we got one more day yet.
And I can't wait for your transfer portal probables article. One of my favorite articles that you catch the most heat for, but it is always a doozy. Who might transfer? Who could be highly touted in the portal? Yeah. Who's rumored to be getting offered? So, all right, let's dive in. Let's start at 125 pounds. Luke Lillidahl advancing to the NCAA championship finals against Mark Anthony McGowan, the 10 seed. Lillidahl had a very great 8-3 win over Spratley on the top semi. McGowan beats Moran 4-1 in the bottom semi.
We always kind of complain about 125, 184, these tight matches, not a lot of scoring. Luke scored early, which was kind of refreshing because, you know, not only you like to see points, but then you like to see it opens the other guy up too, right? So
Yeah.
I thought it was a really good performance by Luke.
It was, and Luke's going to be a heavy favorite. Luke's minus 700 on the betting odds right now going into the finals against McGowan, who's plus 525. And, you know, kind of a couple different storylines. Now, like today and tomorrow, and even Monday, it's where you start to really dive into the meat and potatoes of the bracket. And so I've just begun doing that. So I'll give you some nuggets as we kind of go through the brackets here. One of the things I went through this morning out of pure curiosity, pure fodder, the lowest seed to All-American and the highest seed not to All-American. That's the definition of fodder. Lowest seed to All-American at 125 pounds was Jacob Moran. The highest seed not to AA, number 2, Eddie Ventresca. The number 2, 3, and 4 did not All-American at 125 pounds. And as we go through the weights here, you'll notice a pattern. 9 out of the 10 highest seeds that didn't place, non-Big Ten. Nick Feldman, the only highest seeded weight to go down, that was Big Ten. So some crazy action here. The blood round saw Provo beat Seymour, Klinsky beat Dean Peterson, Robinson beat Eddie Van Treska, and Jory Volk beat Strickenberger. And then Robinson beat Volk, setting up a nice Robinson-Spratley Concy semi this morning. Tyler Klinsky, a dog. Shout out Willie. Did he pin Peterson? I know he pinned Bouzakis. Did he pin Peterson too? The bracket says 4. The bracket says 4-1, but I thought he got a pin. Maybe that was a different pin I'm thinking about. But Klinsky beats Peterson to AA.
He pinned Bouzakis.
I know he pinned Bouzakis. I thought he had a second pin. Could be wrong. The blood round was rough.
I missed a lot of the blood round matches, to be honest. Like actually watching them.
No, it's crazy. And you know, I heard a lot of fodder from the back. that this year the tension on the floor was at an all-time high. And you'll hear it from coaches. I think you heard it from Burroughs on commentary. Yeah, like I'm hearing it again and again. I was talking to a coach who said they were down in the floor, and basically they reiterated everything Burroughs was saying. Like, you could just, the tension down there on the floor, the highest of highs and lowest of lows, especially as you have like some of these guys. I mean, you had 4 2-seeds, not even All-American. Like, there's some crazy stuff that went down this weekend. So that's kind of the picture right now at 125. We got Provo Moran in a little bit, Robinson Spratley in a little bit, winners for 3rd, losers for 5th. Klinsky, shout out Riders Klinsky. You were high on him, and he's wrestling for 7th place now this morning.
Yeah.
Are you doing data entry over there? Are you doing data?
No, I was looking at the chat. I had a feeling about Klinsky. I thought the path was right. I thought the weight was right. Ryder usually gets one guy wrestling, at least one guy wrestling really well, going on a run, and he did that. It's crazy. It's crazy how many high seeds didn't place. I mean, I just can't like really wrap my head around Eddie Ventresca not AAing, and we get V-Rob Spratley again.
I mean, just look at that blood round. 2, 4, and 8 all losing the blood round to the 7, 11, 12. And by the way, the 12 there, Eddie losing the blood round, it speaks to the depth and chaos of the weight that the number 2 Ventresca loses in the blood round to not AA. But who does he lose to? The returning national champ. Kind of crazy. Mm-hmm. So that's the picture at 125. Super excited for tonight, Lillidahl, McGowan.
Yeah, those guys met earlier this year, and it was like a super tight match.
Yeah, was it that tight? I didn't think it was. Let me look.
Or no,
McGowan got DQ'd.
McGowan got DQ'd for stalling. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I actually didn't watch it, but I remembered something funky was going on with it.
Yeah. So that's the picture right now at 125. Not the most. What do you big J's say? Lot to write home about. Not a lot to write home about there at 125, but that's the picture. Let's move on to 133 pounds. Living up to expectations on all fronts, I would say. Jax Forrest beats Aaron Seidel, majors him 14-3. You know, it was 3 takedowns to 1 Seidel last time, with Forrest getting back points, near fall, and wins it, I think, like 11-10. Now Forrest separates himself, gets an early takedown, gets out in front, and Seidel was just, man, felt like he was never even in it. Forrest just out early, wrestling amazing, majors him 14-3, where he will face Ben Davino tonight, who beat Marcus Blaze. A little bit of controversy there at the end of that one. What'd you make of it?
Yeah, Davino almost had a takedown. I did not think it was a takedown, but I know most people do not believe that's true. They think he had a takedown. I just don't think that it's not necessarily a takedown. You're not necessarily in control just because you're touching 2 legs. Now, like 99% of the time, that is true, but just because you're touching both legs does not mean you're in control. And I didn't think he was in control. I think Marcus did just enough to sort of evade, and I don't know. I felt like the right guy won, though, if that makes any sense. I know that I actually hate when people say the right guy won, because it makes it sound like
I get what you're saying.
It makes it sound like one guy got screwed. You either have the points or you don't. That being said, I thought Davino was closer on most occasions. Although I did think, you know, we were wondering if Marcus would pick up his pace. This is the fascinating thing in this match to me. we were wondering if Marcus would pick up his pace, pick up his offense, not pace so much, but offense, and try to avoid going to rideouts because it's happened twice before. And the answer to that was surprising. The answer to that was yes. You noticed a much more effort in trying to get a takedown before rideouts. However, he couldn't.
Yeah.
And that's surprising. Like, despite the uptick, he still couldn't get one.
Yeah, tonight's going to be interesting with Jax Forrest versus Ben Davino. You know, Davino has not been taken down all year. Forrest has been a machine. And I think Forrest, believe it or not, but I know there's going to be some poo-pooing on this next statement. But Jax, if he bonuses Davino, he will absolutely be in Hodge contention. I don't think he'll win it because he only wrestled second semester, started late because he wrestled high school in December, November, October, whatever. I don't. Jax will be there if he bonuses Davino. If he just
listen, I know we're talking Jax. It's a Jax world. It's a Jax Forrest world. I mean, I think Davino has a shot. I think Davino can beat him.
It's the NCAA finals. Of course he has a shot. Davino has not been taken down all year. Davino's defense is incredible. I forgot what sequence it was last night. I was like, that's insane that Davino did not give up a takedown there.
I know.
Davino's defense is, up there with the best in the sport right now. So that was that. And then down below we had Knox knock off Larkin in the Bloodround. Tyler Knox AAs. Both the Larkin brothers not All-Americaning. Big disappointment for the Sun Devils. I mean, they were awesome all year. And for neither Larkin to AA, kind of surprising there. Van Dien knocks off Baker to AA. Bird knocks off Farber to AA. And Drake beats Lee to AA and then beats Bird 10-4. So it's going to be Drake Seidel this morning. Winner goes to the third place match. It's going to be Blaze versus Tyler Knox. Winner goes to the third place match. Loser of those two matches go to fifth. Lowest seed to AA here, number 15, Tyler Knox. Highest seed not to AA here, that number 5, Kyler Larkin.
I love Drake Seidel, and I love Blaze versus either one of them. Hopefully, not hopefully, but we've never seen Blaze versus Seidel.
Yeah, and right, Blaze pinned Knox back at the duel back in the fall. Knox is looking good this weekend. We'll see how that match goes. Any other thoughts at 133? I mean, Jax Forrest he's so fun. He's so electric.
We talked about how good 133 is, but then in like the bracket breakdown preview shows, we said that like it's deceptively not deep. Like it's really, really good, but like the depth isn't really there.
I know what you're saying.
So here's what I'm trying to get at. In a lot of weights, like 125 that we just went over, we go, who are the best? Oh my God, I can't believe that guy didn't AA. I can't believe this guy didn't AA. That didn't really happen at 33. That didn't happen at 33. The depth isn't really there.
Yeah, no, I agree. Larkin, I'd say, is the big one.
Larkin, right, but he fell to Knox, who's really good.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, that kind of exemplifies, that kind of proves what we were saying going into the tournament. Was like we're looking at it, and it's like 133 is really good, but wait a second,
the podium's really good. The podium is really stupid good, and then the next, you also have guys that you have guys like Crookham out. So you have guys also out that throughout the year kind of water it down a little bit, but that top. Having those 4 freshmen in the semis there, bananas. And Jax Forrest, one of 4 freshmen Oklahoma State put in the finals. Oklahoma State put 3 true freshmen and a redshirt freshman in the finals. So awesome job by the coaching staff there.
Yeah, I was going to get to that at the end, but we'll get to that at the end. What David's doing is incredible, and yeah.
All right, let's move on to 141 pounds. Hang on, my buddy Dan Tomaso texting me. When are you guys going live? Dan, we are live now, my friend. 141 pounds. Jesse Mendez. Listen, I don't want to pat my own back too hard, but I told you in this podcast yesterday that Mendez Standage was going to be a very real thing, and then there it was, 1-1 in overtime. And Mendez, savvy, gritty, veteran win to get the takedown in overtime over Standage. But a hell of a fight by Luke Standage. I'm so excited for the rest of that kid's college career. Down below, Vega gets it done again over Brock Hardy, 5-3. Setting up Mendez-Vega, a match we've wanted to see all year. Mendez and his explosive offense, Vega and his stingy defense. Here you have a guy who's one of the top Hodge contending frontrunners, and you have Vega, who is, I don't think, been taken down yet this year. So awesome what we're going to see there tonight. Hopefully.
I thought 141 was less fireworks, but good, like just good high level wrestling. I thought it was quietly very sound wrestling by all 4 guys. Up top. And I didn't mention this at 133, but it ties in. You know, Divino, a lot of these freshmen get credit for being really active and talented, and we keep saying wrestle like a freshman, and they're kind of fearless. But Divino also has a dog. I mean, he's a dog. He's a
Agreed.
He's the only one that has a red shirt, so maybe he sort of acclimated a little bit more. But training with Mendez does not hurt, and
100%.
And Jesse's tutelage, I'm sure, helps Ben. I mean, credit to Ben, because you have to have that in you,
without a doubt.
Not everybody can. Not everybody can have the guts, even with the tutelage. But the combination, Ben has it, Jesse is the mentor, and why I bring it up is because you saw Ben have it. You saw Ben do it, really gut up and get it done. And then you saw Jesse. Jesse's a Hodge Trophy contender, 2-time AA, but even Hodge Trophy, two-time national champ, even that, sometimes things happen and you find yourself in a tight one against a really great Luke Standage, and he found him and he gutted through it, and he found and he got it done. And I just think it needs to be mentioned, the Divino Mendez connection. I just think both of them are tougher than nails. Talented as all hell, but tougher than nails too.
100%. And you know, this weight screams to me. You talk about the blood round and guys not really making it at 33. Or guys that should have AA'd kind of did. How about this weight? You had 6, 7, 8 all go down in the blood round. And Willie, can I point out some academy fodder?
Send it.
Carter Nogel of Air Force, the 18 seed, loses to Riders Eli Griffin first round. And then what he does in the backside. Win. Wins 5 straight. And he's now wrestling Luke Standage in the Conci semis this morning. So after losing the first round, he wins 5 straight to lock up 6th place at minimum. If he wins against Standage, he'll wrestle for 3rd. If he loses, he'll wrestle the loser of Baschamania Hardy for 5th. But and both those are going to be dog fights, those 2 matches. He'll be the big underdog. But to lock up 6th after losing the first round and winning 5 straight, you talk all heart, all grit. You know, we've mentioned the stories in years past. Guys like Kasich, who went down in the first round, wrestled back, and I'm thinking Pantelio, but I think Pantelio was the U.S. Open one year. he went down early and then won 6-7 straight. But what an awesome wrestle back there for Carter to go down early and then dogfight through the back.
Yeah, we mentioned Nogel a few times, and I don't know what I had him on the big board, but it wasn't super high. But over the course of the season, you started noticing some stuff, and then Big 12s he took third, and that caught our attention for sure. But you didn't know how it was going to play out, and then he loses first round, and I mean, what a warrior! And it's not like his path. I mean, he beat some dudes. He beat Cornella, and then he beat Henson, who beat Bailey. It wasn't a
layup.
It wasn't a fortuitous situation. I mean, he got it done. It's a great story. I think off the top of my head, I don't want to say this because I kind of don't want to say this because I didn't do the research yet and I don't have the full list. But off the top of my head, Nogel, Christian Carroll. There's one more that I know that lost first round and still AA'd. Dang it. There was a third one in there.
Yep, I was going to mention Carroll at heavyweight.
That I know of. I'm not sure. See, I didn't want to, but that's something we got. That's something we got to look up. But very impressed.
Yeah, it's going to be continued fodder. As we go through the brackets. Speaking of fodder, highest seed to not AA, number 6, Vince Cornella. Lowest seed All-American, number 13, Wyatt Henson. Henson finished strong. Henson's had a great year. He's been wrestling good. We just kind of said here that Nogel beat Henson.
He was on my feel-good team. Henson was on my feel-good team. Three-time MAC champ. Like to see him go out as a senior. But how about now? Conversely to 133, this one did have some high-quality guys, not AA. Davis lost to Composto. Vombauer lost to Composto in the blood round. Composto just always seems to get it done. He's always like, he's a bubble guy. He's a bubble guy. And he gets over the bubble every single year.
By the way, in the chat,
Bailey, Nogel beat Cornella.
In the chat, I was going to wait for it, but not a wrestler said he heard Angelo Ferrari medical forfeited out. That is true. He did. He medical forfeited to Campos, and I don't really know why, but maybe we'll get some insight on that later. But yes, Ferrari medical forfeited out.
That's fodder for the offseason. That's just medical forfeit out. And you know what? That really sucks because there is a mathematical chance. I mean, maybe they don't care. I don't know. That helps Nebraska.
Well, Campos beats Ryder and then gets the medical forfeit win over Ferrari, and now he's in the third place match against the winner of Sinclair Mantanona. So
yeah, that let's look at team scores. I look at team scores real quick.
I'll pull up team scores on the screen for us.
So Nebraska has 90 and Iowa has 81, and Iowa has a lot of bullets. Iowa has a lot of bullets left compared to Nebraska, and this is what I mean. They both have about the same number of guys. I think 9-7 or something like that. But Nebraska's sort of capped. Like Van Die's going for 7 or 8, so he can only score a point or two. Well, Gabe Arnold is too. But anyway, my point is there was a mathematical shot for Iowa to catch Nebraska, and obviously Allred breaking his leg hurt in that, but Ferrari default and hurts the other way.
Yeah.
So, interesting.
So that's some interesting. Anything else here at 141 before we move on?
No, I think it's going to be a fascinating final. I think my pick's still Mendez. I think Vega is very dangerous in some situations, but I think the coaching staff and Jesse will mind those issues, mind those positions, and I don't know. I don't. Sergio Vega is freaking awesome. Um, it's a fascinating final, one of the more fascinating finals in my opinion.
Yeah. Jerry W92 in the chat. Damn, that's crazy. Ryder could have been in third place match if he beat Campos. Yeah, how about that? How about that?
Oh, come on.
All right, 149. Give us the rundown, sir.
All right, Shane Van Ness takes care of Lamer in short order. Lamer, the Cinderella story at 149. Coming from the 20 seed, Van Ness squashed that and goes to the finals for the first time, right? Was he 3-3?
Yeah.
What's Van Ness's place? Yeah.
Third place finishes.
Okay. Lachlan falls to Aiden Valencia. Really good bout there. And look at Valencia coming from the 10 seed. Obviously, he was a highly coveted prospect, but he's been really good, not great, and that's why he came in as a 10 seed. But he beats returning All-American Styles. He beats a 2 seed Jackson Joy. He beats a 3-time All-American Lachlan McNeil, and he makes the finals against Shane Van Ness. And he has a shot. And great job by Stanford. Great national tournament by Stanford.
By the way, the chat reminded us, how could we forget? Gabe Arnold losing first round comes back to AA.
Gabe Arnold.
How do we forget our guy Gabe?
There's my third one. There's a third one that I knew.
Yeah.
There might be others, but those are the three that I knew. Nogel, Gabe, and Christian Carroll.
Yeah. So Van Ness, Valencia tonight. Let's check my lowest seed to AA, number 20, Chance Lamer. Highest seed not to AA, number 2, Jackson Joy. Jackson Joy losing to Colin Guy 7-2 in the blood round. Cross beats Frost, and then Guy beats Cross, a 3 and a 4.
Hey, shout out to us.
Shout out us.
For Ryder Block coming from the 15 AA, and we both had it.
Absolutely. I think I even had, to that degree, I actually even had, in that 567, I had Block over Swiderski.
Same.
That 567.
Well, I don't know if I had Block over Swiderski, but yes, I did.
We both had Casey losing to Van Ness, and then that's, he drops down, gets a W, and so yeah, we were both very bullish on Block, and he did it. He had a great tournament. I always had some really good storylines here for all the brands he caught all year. I mean, Iowa here, you got 5 in the Conci semis. You got Caliendo, which we'll get to in a minute, in the finals, keeping the streak alive. You got Gabe going for 7th. So,
I mean, Dean Peterson and Nasir Bailey, neither one of them AA'd, and they still had 7 AAs.
Yeah.
And based on the paths, I called it in Crystal Ball. They're in 4th place, exactly where I said they'd be. No, I had them 5th. I had them 5th. I had Ohio State ahead, but Ohio State sort of had a lot of problems this tournament.
Yeah. So we got Block, McNeil in the Conci semis this morning. Guy and Lamer.
Shout out to Guy, right? He's a 4 seed. He's on a high. He's a true freshman. He loses second round to Lamer. I mean, look at you got it. This is a true freshman with nerves of steel. He beat Biskins. He beat Joy. He beat Wazlewski on the way back. Guy beat the 5, the 2, and the 3.
2, 3, 5. Crazy.
Incredible.
Yeah. And that's after that, he lost to the 20 seed, Chance Lamer, 3-1.
Now we get to start him again.
Yeah, and then it's kind of like, man, a Virginia Tech guy went down as the 4 seed, 2 of them, him and Sonny Sasso. This is what you want to see if the guy goes down. You want to see him go back and wrestle and crush the 2, 3, and 5, and now he can get vengeance against Lamer. What? The chat get you?
Chat got me. Quint Kasanich is on Willie's feel-good team.
Quint is not on our feel-good team.
He's so brutal, bro. They need to get him off.
He asked Cal if he was going to put his sweatpants on last night. Cal was on the biggest tilt of the tournament with this PJ Duke finish, and Quint's asking about putting the sweatpants on.
He has. First of all, the wrestlers and the coaches don't like him. They don't like him. They cringe because of 20 years worth of him asking dumbass questions and him really not having a pulse. He just oozes something that's not what they want. Like, he's just like the elephant in the room. And Kale, we're gonna do an interview with you. All right. Chris Minto, we're gonna do an interview, or whoever it might be, and they just curl up, and so it makes it awkward to begin with. And then he asks dumb questions. He led with Christopher Minto comes off the mat after the semifinal win. He's like, Christopher Minto, out of Florida. Did you ever think this could be possible? What are you talking about? He's not from North Korea. What?
Hey, we got a $4.99 super chat from Greco Jones who said,
Greco Jones, that's my boy Rob Prebish.
How badly was the freshman AA record blown? What are you doing?
I don't know.
What?
Rob Prebish, Greco Jones, he has his finger that goes, Brian Baldinger's finger. Greco Jones is worse. It's not the right direction.
We're gonna need to see a picture of that or something. I think, am I wrong to say that the 9 or 10 freshman AAs that you said could happen all did?
No. Posada didn't, did he?
Is Posada the only one?
D.
Posada and
we
D.
We lost a few. We lost a few good men.
No, Posada did AA. Posada beat Geog.
Did he?
He beat Geog, and then he beat Branson John, and now he has Little. He's in the Conti semis.
Okay.
Shout out us.
Hell yeah. But D, I think we lost a couple.
All right. Well, we'll get to that. We'll do the fodder. We'll get to D when we get to 165. Let's get to 157, and I'm going to tweet this link out because there was a robbery last night in Cleveland. Wasn't an armed robbery, but it was a felony robbery.
It was the worst call. It was the worst call. I don't remember I honest to goodness don't remember a worse call. I cannot recall something being as brutal, as bad, as blatantly obvious. And it's very clear. I know you guys just miss me with all your bull about it not being taken. Isaac Olesnik, Oklahoma State fans were convinced that it wasn't a takedown. I mean, stop. You're just totally too connected to be thinking clearly. Your bias is just totally overshadowing any sense of reason and objectiveness or subjectiveness. Yeah, lock up a cradle. From the beginning of time, what a situation with a cradle is, you can have a cradle locked and it's not a takedown. Okay, that's true. You have it locked, it's not a takedown. If you move, if you bump, if you knock them off the cradle, if you knock them off the base, that is a takedown. It is universally a takedown. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows if you have a cradle locked up, it's not necessarily a takedown. If you knock them off the base, it is a takedown. Now, Imagine in a world where you're not aware of that. Imagine in a world where that's okay. Um, Fine. That's problem number one. Recognizing a takedown. You recognize a takedown. You can't recognize a takedown. Either way, okay, you're screwing up. By the way, the ref was right there on top of it, and he knew it was a takedown, and he called it. To add on to the ridiculousness, if they don't stop it, PJ Duke has a great takedown to get a great chance to get the takedown. So it was fumbled. I actually don't think it was fumbled. I don't think that the referee fumbled it. I don't think the guy on the whistle fumbled it. He called the takedown because it was a freaking takedown. Who fumbled it is whatever bozo is back in a video review booth and says that's not a takedown, because it's a takedown.
Yeah, the weird thing that really why I think it was hosed, if you set aside from it, like a lot of the Oklahoma State fans and the Penn State haters are going right after whether it was a takedown or not. The thing that really put me on tilt was not necessarily the takedown versus non-takedown call. What put me on tilt is he gets him locked in a cradle. He has him locked in a cradle, and the ref blows it and goes, takedown match over, you won. Then another ref overturns that. Okay, so now the ref that stopped PJ Duke when he was in a cradle, you can't stop him because it's a takedown and then have somebody else say, well, that's not a takedown. Well, if it wasn't a takedown, Duke had him in a cradle. And now you're gonna call off the takedown and make him go back to neutral. And by the way,
yeah, but
hold on. This takes away absolutely nothing. I have to say this because there's a bunch of mouth breathers out there. This takes nothing away from Robideau. Robideau wrestled a great match, had great defense. He wanted it. This takes nothing away from Robideau. Simply commentating on the officiating or a call takes nothing away from being happy for Robideau and Robideau doing what he had to do. I just think, away from yeah, my whole why I was on tilt was that in our group chat, I texted Willie, I can't believe they just blew the whistle. And you said, don't worry about it. They're not overturning that. And my next text was, they overturned it, and then you went nuclear as well.
It was awful. And for the idiots in the chat saying, Ben Askren said it wasn't a takedown. Christian Powell said it was too early to whistle. I don't care. I don't care what they said. 10 out of 10 times, you have a cradle, you knock a guy off a base, it's a takedown. I don't care what they said. And for the people saying that, it's always me. It's always me that it's a bias. It's not bias. It's calling it how it is. You guys got dunked on a couple of weeks ago when I said that one thing was a takedown, and then you said, oh, that's anti-Oklahoma State bias. And then 2 days later, I said that the Oklahoma State guy got hosed because that was a takedown. And then you're all confused because is Willie biased or not? I'm not biased in any way, shape, or form. I know what the calls are. I know what they should be. You're the ones that are biased, that you're just sticking to your team. Like Jeremy Rooks. Jeremy Rooks wants to just glaze Oklahoma State every 5 minutes, and he's in my freaking Twitter feed, just everything Oklahoma State. It was it's a 10 out of 10. It's a takedown every time, and that's not. I mean, Robideau is great. I'm not blaming him. I'm not. It's not a. He was right in it, and afterwards he did win it. He's a super stud. But if you have any sense of objectivity whatsoever, you know what the call was.
Well, I also think it's like, listen, every fan base is going to at some point get calls that go their way and get calls that don't. I think you can celebrate Robideau making the finals. You don't have to mock the officiating, because now tonight, if a call goes the other way and Oklahoma State doesn't get a call, they're going to lose their mind on officiating, but they don't care about the officiating last night because it went their way.
Exactly. They're all biased. I see another comment in the chat that says, "Well, why did they stop it? You got to give him. They should have let it go and give Duke the opportunity for a pin." No, the call on the mat was right. He bumped him off his base. He damn near riddle me this. Riddle me this. Duke has a cradle. He bumps him off a base, which is typically automatic 3. That's a definition. Do you see it 99? You see it 100 times out of 100. You bump off of it, it's a takedown. Robideau's back was exposed for a second. How do you have a cradle? The guy's back is exposed for a second, and you're telling me that it wasn't a takedown? I was looking like maybe he'll get a swipe. What are you guys talking about? You're lying to yourselves.
Yeah, again, celebrate that your guy got into the finals. I just don't think there's a need to be facetious and mock the officiating when Oklahoma State fans at large have been very vocal about calls not going their way and bad calls. And, like, be careful what you're setting yourself up for here. Because, again, it's one thing to celebrate Landon making the finals. Awesome for Landon. It's another to sit here and just pretend you're a rules expert.
No, I think it's borderline insanity. I think, like, maybe you guys are a little crazy because a guy has a cradle and the kid goes on his back for a second, and then you're saying it's not a takedown.
Yeah, so that's Luke Robideau. Landon gets the 3-1 win, and he's the third true freshman. Oklahoma State's putting the finals. On the bottom side, Antrell Taylor with a gritty win over Ty Waters, 4-2. Antrell Taylor started the season a bit shaky, and then, man, he has just rebounded and looked so good down the stretch. He's back in the NCAA finals, and then it's going to be Brandon Cannon versus Ty Waters in the Conci semis, and PJ Duke, Cannon Webster in the bottom side, Conci semis. The winners will wrestle for third. The losers will wrestle for fifth. Meyer, Shapiro, and Catchabrone wrestling for 7th, 8th. Let's look at my 157 seeds. Lowest seed to AA, Cam Catchabrone, number 15. Highest seed not to AA, again, Larkin, number 4, Caleb Larkin. The Larkins were seeded 4th and 5th and did not AA.
Yeah, what is excellent. We talk a lot about freshmen, and Cam Catchabrone doesn't often get mentioned, but there he is. Cannon over Swisher, 6th seed does not play. It's excellent year from Swisher, beating Shapiro last week. Cannon Webster only had a tight loss to Antrell Taylor, and then he beat Shapiro. Shapiro who beat Cardenas. So, to me, 157, it's so deep. It's so deep. Some of these matches could have went the other way, and you wouldn't have batted an eye. There is a deep, deep contingent of, like, really worthy All-Americans at this weight.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So
Cornell really had a bad tournament, huh? I mean,
yeah,
I think
Cornell had 3 of the highest seeds and not 8 at different weights. 3 of them were Cornell. You had number 6 Vince Cornella at 41, number 2 Jackson Joy at 49, and number 2 Simon Ruiz at 174.
I think what did Ruiz do? Backside. Where's Ruiz? Oh, I'm at the wrong way. He didn't AA, right?
Sorry, who are you asking for? I was looking at the chat.
Ruiz didn't AA. So Cornell had a 2 seed in Shapiro, a 6 seed in Cornell, a 2 seed in Simon, and if four seed in no a 2 seed in Joy, and they only got one AA. They got a seventh place, a seventh, eighth Shapiro. So
Yeah,
rough tournament.
both Ruiz and Joy, the 2 seed, not AAing is crazy. All right, so that is 157. The chat, did I not say chance? Did I not do the 149 seeds? The highest seed, lowest seed AA, number 20, Chance Lamer. Highest not to AA, Jackson Joy. All right, let's move on to 165 pounds. Give us the rundown, William.
165, Mitchell Mesenbrink over Caesar Alvin, surprising absolutely nobody. Caliendo getting revenge over Blaze from earlier in the duel in a tight one. So the streak continues for Iowa. Congrats to them. It was sort of in the balance there, and Cali got it done. Not real surprising, but
yeah. So it's going to be Mesenbrink Caliendo again tonight for the finals. Down below, Ruiz beats Brignola, a 4-7 there in the blood round. Hepner is a dog. Hepner was about to be taken out in a stretcher. They brought the stretcher mat side in the Mesenbrink match. They were about to roll him out, and that was going to be the end of the season. He comes back. He holds Mesenbrink to a non-bonus and then beats Ryder Downey to AA and then ultimately loses to Ruiz. But, man, not enough can be said about Hepner and having that dog in him to come back from almost being taken out in a stretcher and then a couple hours later AAing. And then Sparks beats Denny after taking out D. Lockett. Patty Gallagher stops EJ Parko's fun run. And Sparks beats Patty. Ruiz beats Hepner. So we got a 4-2 in the Conti semi. Ruiz Blaze and then Sparks Alvin.
Good to see Sparks. He was mentioned on my feel good team. Senior had a terrific career, but never been on the podium. And he beats Will Denny, another one of those talented freshmen. Hell, he beat two talented freshmen back to back. Lockett and then Denny to AA.
Yeah, so some good performances here. I think Mesenbrink is now the heaviest betting favorite for tonight. I think he's minus 1,000. What is the chat saying? Give Sparks his shine. Dude is a dog. He is a dog. Didn't we just say that?
Yeah.
Sparks is a dog.
Yeah. Yeah. If you missed a segment, we did a segment on a feel good team, guys that we would not necessarily root for, but we would be really happy if we'd feel really good for them if they had a good tournament. And Sparks was one of mine at 65.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to 174 pounds. Levi Haynes, Tex Patrick Kennedy, a dominating performance, beats him 18-3. Minto beats Steed 5-1, and he's going to be in the finals with for another shot at Levi Haynes. Down below, Karchula took out Ruiz in the blood round. Mantanona took out Singleton. Wask took out Schubert, and Gatan takes out Kelly. A fun way here. Kind of chalk, all things considered.
Yeah, it's a really good, solid way it's developed. In like you had some emergences here, like throughout the season. Like Schubert emerged as a guy.
Yep.
You know, it's a really solid group. But Minto, I'm picking Levi, but it's been a fun series this year between the two.
100%.
All Levi, but interesting. You know, I mean, I think we came into the season wondering if anybody could test Levi, and I don't know, like Minto's the only guy that's been relatively close. I think Minto might have been the only guy to take him down. So there's a little bit of intrigue. all you really ask for in the finals is a little bit of intrigue, right?
Yeah, you want good matches. You want good storylines. I think Levi Minto is going to be a good match. I think Levi is going to ultimately get it done. This is Levi's final match in a Penn State singlet. I'm looking for it to be a fun one. And for as much as we talk about Messenbrink and the Hodge and Barr on 100% bonus, Levi Haynes, 4-time Big Ten champ, here's his final NCAA tournament so far. Pin in a minute. Tech, tech, tech. So pretty damn good final performance here by Levi. I suspect tonight he caps it off with another title. All right.
I think this is a good spot right here to tell you my finalist by big board. And the reason I want to do it here is because I'll run it through real quick. The finals matchups by big board. This is what they were ranked by me as a prospect coming out of high school. So 125 is Lillidahl was number one. He was my number one prospect in his class against number 12 prospect in his class, Mark Anthony McGowan. By the way, this is the third time in 5 years that Princeton has had a finalist at 125. Might have something to do with Joe Dubuque, 2-time national champ. 133, number one prospect in his class, Jax Forrest against number 4, Ben Davino. Number 4, Jesse Mendez against number 6, Sergio Vega. Number 5, Shane Van Ness against number 11, Aiden Valencia. Number 5, Landon Robideau against number 25, Antrell Taylor. Now this one's goofy. Number 59, Mitchell Mesenbrink against number 73, Michael Caliendo. That's an outlier. 174, number 7 versus number 93. Chris Minto, the lowest big board guy in the finals at any weight. And so that's why I wanted to do this little fodder piece right now, because in an era where these kids are coming out more prepared, better than ever, and everybody's digging deep into recruiting stuff, and we need to get the bluest of blue chippers. We need to get the elite of the elite, and they come in prepared, and they're ready to go right away. And that's true. That's true. I mean, you see it in the numbers right here. Number 1, Luke Lillidahl. Number 12, McGowan. Number 1, Jax. Number 4, Ben. Number 4, Jesse. Number 6, Sergio. They're right. You need the guys that get to the finals are guys that were top 10 on my big board. So you're right. You need those guys. My point here is there is still a world, although not often, but where you can develop guys. You can find guys, diamonds in the rough. Christopher Minto, nobody knew who he was. Nobody talked about him. He AAs as a freshman in a really deep 165 and moves up a weight, and now he makes the finals. It's a really good job, really good job by Nebraska, really good job by him. He's an outlier. The rest of the finalists by big board rank: number 3, Rocco Welsh; number 15, Max Mickinelli; number 4, Josh Bard; number 2, Cody Merrill. Younger didn't have a big board rank because he was in Cuba. And number 29, Isaac Trumbull.
I got a piece of fodder for you.
Hey, how about Millard South of Omaha? They might be they're the only high school with 2 finalists. That's insane.
Wow, really?
Yeah, look at that. They're the only high school with 2 finalists. 20 finalists in the nation. 20 finalists in the nation. 2 of them came from a high school in Omaha.
Deep in the heart of Omaha. All right. Shall we move on?
Also, in that same vein, also shout out to Cam Steed.
Shout out Cam Steed.
Cam Steed and what Missouri has done with him, great job by them. I mean, Steed was like, I don't know, he was like Minto, I think. Actually, let me look it up. I feel like he was between 90 and like 110 or something. but he deserved a shout out too. I mean, this guy is getting to the NCAA semifinals. He moved around in weight a bunch. Where are we at here? He wasn't a blue chipper, but he's making NCAA semis. Cam Steed, I had him 107. And so that's a great story too.
Yeah, shout out Steed. All right, 184 pounds. Rocco Welch in the finals. And spoiler alert, because we're getting ahead of Bar, but Penn State, again, it's like Penn State at this point is just demanded excellence, and there's Penn State fatigue. But it should not go without saying that Penn State once again put 6 in the NCAA finals, tying an NCAA best, tying a program best. Just the 7th time in history a team has had 6 NCAA finalists. And again, Bar 2. But Rocco here beats Mantanona in a close one, 4-3. And then Max McAnally with the overtime win against Ferrari. Tight one, Willie. That was a tight one.
Well, we expected it to be, right?
Are you bracketing?
A lot of these 184s are really, really tight, and that's what we got. Points are at a premium at this weight, especially among the top 4 or 5 guys. I'm just looking backside here. Caleb Campos, great job for American. Not even close to being on my radar in high school, and they really developed him. He beat the 4 seed last week, and he AA's here. I mean, really great stuff.
Yeah, so we're going to get Rocco Max Big Ten Finals rematch tonight in the finals. As we mentioned a few minutes ago, graphic will go out shortly. Angelo Ferrari, medical forfeiting out after the loss to Max. Not really sure why. Again, maybe we get some insight from Iowa. Maybe we don't. It's not, I mean, he looked good, but you never know what guys are battling. So Campos will get the default win over Angelo, and Campos will wrestle for 3rd place. Campos after taking out Ryder and Saldano, and Campos is wrestling for 3rd place. The bottom side, we got Sinclair, who just took out Nietenbach, will wrestle Mantanona. Sinclair actually took out Conway and Nietenbach, the 4-6 back-to-back. So winner of Sinclair, Mantanona will wrestle for 3rd place, and then whoever loses that match will automatically get 5th, and Angelo will default out, losing the contest. He'll default to 6th.
A couple of things in the chat. Any info on Iowa getting a team point taken? I think there was a team point taken at the Ferrari match. I don't know why or how. And then somebody said that Max interview though. I missed it. I couldn't hear it, but there was something going on social media, like chatter, that it was brutal. I don't know. What did Clint ask? That's. All right.
I heard it, but it was in one ear out the other. I heard it and laughed at the stupidity of the question, and I think I just moved on. If anybody in the chat remembers what Quint asked him.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that's the picture of 184. Yeah, do you have any other commentary on the Ferrari-McAnally match? No?
Yeah.
No. All right, 197. Hold on. Paris Gaming, 499 Super Chat. Willie, per your example of Minto, what guys in the Blood Round weren't highly recruited but made it to the Blood Rounds?
Okay, that's a great segment. I'll go through them right now. Blood Rounds, not highly recruited, not high profile. Klinsky actually had some cachet. He was a known commodity. Strickenberger was. Markel Baker was known, but not really highly. Farber was good. Leet was okay. I mean, Eli Griffin was. Carter Nogel, he was good. I'm gonna only kind of go off on some of the guys that were just way off the radar. Kai Owen, he was solid. Brignola. Brignola was not anticipated to be a blood round type of guy. Brignola was not anticipated in high school. No, you would never convince me that Brignola was going to be an 8 seed at the NCAAs. All the rest, yes. Carter Schubert, he was good. Campos way off the radar. Conway, Campos wasn't on the radar. Conway wasn't on the radar. Two great jobs there. And I'm only doing the blood round. If there's somebody beyond that. Branson John. Andrew Real. Andrew Real. I knew his result. Never in a million years would I thought Andrew Real was going to be in the blood round. Heavyweight. There's probably some here. Actually, there is not. There is not. So that's it. And you could do a little bit of more of a deep dive analysis in that. I mean, yeah, there'll probably be more stuff coming out like that. I think Josh Lowe, who does all my team rankings and high school team content, he's putting up an article, if he didn't already, on placers by final big board rank. So that'll be something.
Shout out Hank Hunsel just tagged me in the video. Quint, this is the quote from the interview. Quint says to Max, I mean, he just sits there on a knee and never shoots. And yet you've got to be patient and methodical and not make a mistake. Is that accurate? And then Max should be stalling, right? And then Quint says, in my book, it is.
Yeah.
All right, so that is 184. Shout out. Thanks for sending us the clip. Just making a note here. That is 184. 197, Josh Barr continuing, just like Levi, bonusing his way through the tournament. Tech Major. Major's Novak 14-3, and Novak was never even in it. Barr absolutely dominated, looked great. And Merrill won a close one, gritty win, 2-2. In second tiebreakers, does the handshake, advances, and he's Oklahoma State's fourth freshman, a redshirt freshman. The other three are true to make it to the finals tonight. So it's going to be Josh Barr, Cody Merrill, Penn State, Oklahoma State. Is that the only Penn State, Oklahoma State, or do we have one more? Just that one, right? Robidoux has Taylor, Vega has Mendez, Jax has Davino. So yeah, so Penn State, Oklahoma State in the finals. Posada Little in the Conci semis, McDaniel Novak in the Conci semis. Shout out Gabe Arnold. Gabe loses first round to Rademacher and then ends up outplacing him and outlasting him. Rademacher, after beating Gabe, then loses two straight. Loses to Geog, who didn't even end up AAing. So Gabe Arnold drops down, gets a win over Wasley, then beats Lawrence, then beats Gabe Solers, then beats Remy Cotton, and then finally takes a loss to Cam McDaniel, and now he'll wrestle Branson John for 7th place. But shout out Gabe, man. So happy for him getting on the podium after wrestling for 3 different weights, wherever I would needed. So
we got to send Phil. We're going to send Phil some food feast. We got to send him some fodder for a food feast.
Fodder for a food feast, yeah. So, shout out Gabe Arnold, though. Happy for Barr, man. I'm really happy for Barr. Gonna be a fun one tonight. Any other fodder about 197, William? Oh, I haven't been doing my low seed the last couple of weights. Let me do that real quick. 165, lowest seed to AA, Patty Gallagher, the 16 seed. Highest seed not to AA, D Lockett. D Lockett is not AA. Did we talk about that at all?
About D not AA?
Yeah, I don't really think we talked about it too much.
I mean, he beat LJ in the wrestle back. He's wrestling too many close matches, man. He's wrestling too many close matches. He's really, really talented. I don't know. Did he underperform due to adverse expectations? Yeah, but he's not far off. He's not. I mean, he's a true freshman, and he's wrestling close matches. He just learned. He just got to learn how to. I mean, it's just baby
I
steps for.
I had a
For
feeling that
my guy.
I had a feeling the wrestlebacks were going to be tough for him after the emotional display
Yes.
on the front side. So I'm surprised that D Lockett did an AA going to the tournament. Mid tournament after that, I'm kind of not surprised. I thought that was a great win over LJ. And then Sparks
Well,
never.
even the win over LJ, like he didn't kind of learn his lesson yet. Um, Listen, he should de-lock it. No offense to Caesar Alvin or Columbia. De-lock it is 5 times better. He's so much better than Caesar Alvin. But he's just not executing. He's just not going out and seizing it. And then so after he loses, I'm thinking to myself, this could go one or two ways.
Yeah.
He's very emotional. His dreams were crushed. He really thought he was going to be in the finals. Really thought he was going to be national champion. And this is a narrative from his own mouth that started last summer, because last summer he was telling everybody that could listen, I'm wrestling my freshman year. I'm wrestling right out of the gate. I'm wrestling. I'm winning. And so there's been 10 months of this, 9 months of this goal. And it got broken in that season Alvin match, and he was visibly upset. He was crying on the mat. So he goes to the wrestlebacks, and I'm thinking this could go one or two ways. He could be really inspired and light a fire under his ass and start lighting people up, or he could be despondent and pack your bags and figure it out going forward. And he just didn't. Even against LJ. They go deep into an overtime match, and he wins on a scramble that it could have been 50-50, right? And then he loses. Who did he lose to? He lost to
Sparks.
And I don't know. So the bad news is that he didn't perform to expectations. He didn't maximize his ability this tournament. The good news is he's not far off. He's right there. I mean, hell, he beat Mikey Caliendo in November, and Mikey Caliendo's in the finals. So D is right there. He just needs to figure some stuff out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It's more off-season fodder. We don't have to dive into it now, but whether or not maybe he redshirts next year after how this season went, you don't know. Again, that'll be off-season fodder. All right, at 174, just to run through a couple of these real quick because I was forgetting about them. 174, the lowest seed to AA, number 15, Danny Wask. No surprise to one William Saylor. Highest seed not to AA, number 2, Simon Ruiz. That was a bit of a shocker. 184, lowest seed to AA, number 22, Zach Ryder with one arm. Gets on the podium. I don't want to pat my own back there, but I was right. Highest seed not to AA, number 4, James Conway. And then at 197, lowest seed to AA. The lowest seed in the entire tournament to AA, Gabe Arnold. And the highest seed not to AA, Rocky Elam. And 285, we'll get to 285 right now while I'm covering lowest and highest. Hold on, while I'm covering.
One last thing.
What?
One last thing at 97. I think David and the team really they get a lot of praise, right? Robideau and Jax and Vega. Hey, Cody Merrill just finds a way to win. He's not flashy, but you're making a big boy. You're making a 97 final from the 7 seed as a freshman. The way they've handled him, it deserves as much credit for getting Cody Merrill to a final as some of the flashier guys.
Yeah, listen, those are 5 freshmen that everybody talked about all year with those four that made the finals in D, and they seem like very different personalities across the board. They seem like very different wrestlers across the board, and managing that is not easy. So shout out to David Taylor and the coaching staff at Oklahoma State. Keith, our resident mailman, is very upset that Little got screwed. What is he referring to? Did I miss something in that match at the end?
No, he was probably high.
He said Rev Scott Cody to the finals. All right, that is 197. Give us the heavyweight rundown.
Heavyweight rundown. Younger puts it on AJ Ferrari, but I'll tell you what. AJ made some technical mistakes. Don't go upper body with the Cuban. Do not go upper body with Younger Bastida. Do not. That being said, a little bit of credit for AJ for letting it fly and opening up. I mean, Younger was the better guy. Younger won going away, but AJ didn't go out there to wrestle patty cake and dancing bear heavyweights. I thought it was kind of entertaining. AJ did get a takedown. There was a couple matches throughout the tournament where I, praised the loser and even Keeter. I said something about Keeter. Keeter in the Younger match. I thought Keeter moved well and wrestled well. I mean, yep. Younger was better, no doubt, and Younger was better than AJ, no doubt. But I thought Keeter really wrestled well against Younger. I thought Ferrari wrestled well against Younger. Younger's just a beast. He's really good. I'm gonna miss Younger Bastida.
That was I'm looking it up because I'm pretty sure that was the most points Ferrari has ever given up in a collegiate match.
Well, sure.
That was the most points. I don't know that he's ever been majored. Decision, sudden victory, decision. Yeah, I think that's the first time he's ever been bonused in college. But yeah, I agree that shout out he let it fly. I mean, Bastida's a beast, and I'd say the same thing with the bottom. Trumbull and Tay was a good match. 4-1, I think, was a little deceptive. I thought it was a great match. I don't know, because I was just getting tired, and I was so excited the last match of the night was underway, so we could finally go to sleep. But I thought Trumbull looked awesome there at the end. We had a dual brick throw, if I remember correctly. I was very, I was fading late, but I think there was a dual brick throw. And while we had a dual brick throw, resident interviewee Quint was asking Pop what happens if you get a brick back or something. I don't know. So that is Bastida and Trumbull, tonight's final, the 1-2. We'll have Ben Keeter, Tay Gadali in the Conci semi, and we'll have Ferrari Doucette in the bottom semi. Doucette's
such a good story.
Doucette beating Carroll 1-0. And again, Carroll a good story too. Losing first round, coming back, winning 5 straight, or winning 4 straight, then losing the 5th. But shout out Carroll for getting on the podium.
Yeah, Doucette. Carroll's a good story. Doucette's a good story. Tay's a good story. Zuba's a good story. Keeter's a good story. Keeter, highly ranked guy, a lot of expectations. He was visibly injured for a great portion of the year. A lot of the all Hawkeye fan base down on him, and he's showing out. He's doing really well and looks much better, looks healthier. So I hope some of the Hawkeye fans that were hard on him kind of shut up a little bit.
Highest seed not to AA, Nick Feldman. Lowest seed to AA, number 18, Christian Carroll. And this is an odd one for your finals by big board. I know we already did it, but this was the one non-ranked big boarder in the finals.
Yeah. Him, Echemendia, those guys weren't on my big board because they weren't here in high school.
So that is the semifinal recap, the blood round recap, the finals preview. We're a half hour out right now from the medal round, third, fifth, seventh place matches on ESPN Plus and maybe ESPNU. And then tonight at 6:30, odd time, but 6:30 are the finals. Crackerjack in the chat with full of hate. Virgin Bash can't get a media credential because he's a cringe dork. I have 2 kids, you loser.
Chad, Quint Kesenich is talking to coaches during matches.
Yeah, that's a burner troll account.
What a weirdo.
Yeah, he'll be banned. He'll be banned from the chat.
Oh yeah, Van D. We got a good comment from Jackson Cressley. He got the guys that all lost first round and placed Van D, Nogel, Arnold, Branson John, Christian Carroll. Great stuff. Let's talk a little bit about team scores going into the final day. Penn State far and away number 1, 153. Oklahoma State. Listen, last year, Nebraska had 117 points. It was the 4th highest total ever for a runner-up. Oklahoma State has 111.5 and is sure to add to that. They very well could pass 117.
Disco Biscuit says Cracker Jack 3. He says Cracker Jack 308 closes the fridge door with his hip. Comment to the chat. Sorry.
Pound sand.
He says he closes. Oh, what a comment. What a comment. Disco Biscuit. You rock. Oh, sorry. What were you saying?
Yeah, he's the MVP. Disco Biscuit's the MVP today.
MVP.
So my point is, Oklahoma State very well could pass Nebraska as one of the, it's going to be one of the top 5 ever highest scores for a runner-up team, and they're doing it with a lineup full of freshmen. So that's awesome and impressive. And year 2 for David Taylor and company. All praise.
Are these pretty locked in? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, that's why I'm going over them. Penn State number 1, definitely. Oklahoma State, I think number 2, definitely. I do not see any way Nebraska can catch them. They are 21 points behind Oklahoma State. So Nebraska, I think, stays in 3 or 4. Iowa is 9.5 points back of Nebraska. I think there's a mathematical chance for Iowa, but I don't think it happens. I think there's a mathematical chance for Iowa because Nebraska's matchups are all really tough. You got Van Dijk, who can only score 1 more point. I guess Gabe Arnold can only score one more point. But
how many points for Oklahoma State that Penn State hasn't locked it up?
There ain't no way. Penn State hasn't locked it up.
I don't think I've seen anybody say it. Like, now that I'm thinking about it.
It's locked up.
You would think so. I'm just saying. Usually, like Penn State, NCAA, normally they'll put out that it's been locked up. I haven't seen anything.
There is a website you can go and check that, but
I'm just saying. Usually, as soon as they lock it up, it gets tweeted out. Like the first place has been locked up, and
I can't explain why nobody's tweeted it out, but I can almost guarantee it's locked. There's no.
I mean, I guess Oklahoma State has 8 alive right now, but I don't know how they'd score 40 points.
Oklahoma State has what, 4 in the finals?
4 in the finals and 4 in the consies.
Okay, so give 4 to all 4 finalists. Let's say all 4 finalists win. That's 16. They're still at 120. They're still in the 20s.
It'll be like 127.5.
It's locked.
Maybe like everybody needs to bonus. Like if everybody got a pin.
I still don't think so though. Penn State won.
No, I understand. I know. I'm just surprised that it's not like mathematically locked in yet.
I think it is.
Maddie in the chat says it's locked from a realistic perspective, but not mathematically. I don't know how it could possibly be. I don't know how it could possibly be not mathematical. That's what I'm surprised about.
They're up by 42. How are you gonna? You can't score 42 points.
No, I wouldn't think so either. But apparently there's I mean, I guess you could have like Spratley win 2 matches and get 2 pins. Like, I think that's the case where if everybody pinned their way through, that's the mathematical path.
Maybe.
Okay, the chat is giving us numbers. Oklahoma State max is 159.9. PSU sitting at 153. So there we go. They could technically.
Yeah, ain't gonna happen.
So
okay. Here's where it really
Jeremy Knopf says they have to give Oklahoma State reaction time. Funny comment.
Here's where it really gets juicy. I think Iowa mathematically could get to Nebraska, but everything would have to go right. Conversely, can Ohio State catch Iowa? They're only 3.5 back. But I don't think they have a whole heck of a lot of bullets, although they do have 2 in the finals that could get 8. So that last podium spot, and this is why I love this is setting up for epic get on the podium spot. Iowa is in reach of 3, but they're also in jeopardy of missing the podium.
It's crazy.
And that's what you like to see. You like to see fun team races. So, and then everybody else is far back. The top 5 are way separated from 6 and the rest. Stanford, 20 or 19, 18 and a half back of Ohio State.
Yeah. So that again, that should be all. It should be fun to watch. And then I suspect I don't know if all those will be locked up actually this morning. I think definitely some of those team races are going to tonight's.
Hey, chat. Why don't you be heroes and tell us what like the max are for Nebraska, Iowa, and Ohio State?
Hey, do you want me to give you DraftKings has odds? Do you want me to give them to you real quick?
I would love it.
Hold on one second. Let me see if I can just pull this up.
Bet Online has them too.
Yep. DraftKings just put theirs out, so I'm suspecting there'll be a little bit more like what the numbers are before action. All right, let's see if I can just pull them up on screen here. Let me get rid of my...
That's what I'm saying, Julio in the house.
All right, here we go.
Angelo forfeiting out is devastating.
All right, here we go. Quick.
Really crucial.
Yeah, real quick rundown. Luke Liddell, minus 300. No New Jersey players on my DraftKings, so I don't know what McGowan would be. But Liddell, minus 300. Jax Forrest, minus 400. Ben DeVino, plus 320. Jesse Mendez, a 4-1 favorite over Sergio Vega. Sergio, plus 320. Shane Van Ness, a 5-1 favorite, minus 500. Aiden Valencia, plus 380. Landon Robidoux, minus 120. Antrell Taylor, plus 100. Mitchell Mesenbrink, minus 1,800 over Caliendo, plus 1,000. Levi Haynes, minus 600 over Minto, plus 450. Max McAnally, minus 125. The favorite over Rocco. Rocco, plus 105. Josh Barr, minus 1,000. Minus 1,000 against Cody Merrill, who was plus 650. And then we have Younger Bastida, minus 230. Isaac Trumbull, plus 190. There you have it. Those are your DraftKings betting odds.
So the closest, the tightest odds are Robidoux Taylor and
Robidoux Taylor, minus 120 plus 100. And then Max and Rocco, minus 125 plus 105. But yeah, the Angelo Ferrari thing, maybe we hear from it. He looked good the rest of the tournament, so I'm kind of surprised. But you never know. Maybe there's surgery or something on the horizon. Keith says bash in the chat. I still Disco Biscuit, man. That I'm still like, if you're watching this video, you'll see me like kind of just chuckle now and then. It's because I'm just thinking about his comment that he so quickly says, whatever that Cracker Jack dude was, Cracker Jack closes his fridge with his hip. Oh,
Willie,
man.
has anybody ever told you you look like burnt peanut? Nope, that was the first. Burnt peanut. Antro
right.
got majored by Cannon and Rosinski. That is utterly insane. You know, it brings up a good point. And I said it. I said it back then. And you know who really said it? Adam Fellers. Adam Fellers. It was a Felter fact from early in the season. When people were losing their minds, fans they are so knee-jerk. So back at national duels, Ohio State really Nebraska loses a couple matches. They looked not good, and Ohio State looked really good, and people were eulogizing Antrell Taylor and a couple, not just Antrell, a couple other guys, people that lost early in the season. Oh, well, he's not the guy we thought he was. And, oh, my God, Ohio State's going to challenge Penn State. Ohio State's going to challenge Penn State for the title. Guys, it's November. It's November. Antrell will be fine. Brandon Cannon for the national title. Ohio State's going to challenge Penn State. November is not March. That's why you wrestle a season. A good portion of the fan base was making these sweeping generalizations based on a competition in November. It's a long season, guys. You gotta. Where are you at in your training cycle? Where just because things happen in November and December does not mean that's gonna be what happens in March. And Antrell has answered the bell. Nebraska has answered the bell. I mean, Ohio State piss pounded Nebraska at national duels, and Nebraska's on the podium, and Ohio State. Nebraska finished ahead of them. So it's a long season. That's the point. And Adam Fellers back then said, "Hey, Ohio State, tip of the cap to them. They look great. They've been great, but." Doesn't mean that's where they're going to be in March.
Yeah, I see Dave Puckett here wants us to talk about Ohio State versus Penn State in training. We got so much time in the off season. We'll tackle that at some point. But right now,
hey, listen, and just briefly, yeah, we'll tackle it in the next couple of weeks. But that's not to poo-poo on Ohio State. I've been praising Ohio State all year. They really turned it around. And just because they fell short of expectations here, but we all knew Buzakis was going to be tough on a 3-day tournament. We all, what we didn't know is Nick Feldman is seriously injured. He got injured at the wrong time of the year. So I'm not by any stretch of the imagination poo-pooing Ohio State.
Not by any stretch.
Far from it. I mean. If they wouldn't have had the November that they had, it's all about context and perspective. If they didn't have the November that they had, if they took fifth at national duels, we might be saying fourth or fifth here at NCAAs is really good. But they just set that bar high early in the year.
Yeah. All right, we will be back. Willie, are we recapping NCAAs tomorrow or Monday? Or is that TBD?
Well, Monday, buddy.
Monday. So no show now until Monday. No stream until Monday then. Monday morning we'll be here streaming. TBD. If that changes, we'll let you know.
When do we get wrestling again? Noon?
15 minutes, medal round.
15 minutes?
15 minutes, medal round.
Lock in. Go Bills.
Lock in. Go Bills.